Welcome to United Report, your ultimate source for everything Manchester United. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, we've got you covered with all the updates, transfers, and match highlights you need. If you're a true Red Devil, this is your home. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive into the world of United together. Manchester United will be hoping to wrap up their place in the last 16 of the Europa League when they face FCSB at the National Arena in their final league phase outing tonight. United are in control of their own destiny ahead of their 8th and final league phase fixture, knowing that a victory will guarantee a safe passage through to the round of 16. The Reds beat Rangers 2-1 in dramatic fashion at Old Trafford last week. A draw in Romania may be enough to see Ruben Amorim's side avoid next month's playoff round. For the first time under Amorim, United will be targeting a third successive victory after building on the win over Rangers with a 1-0 triumph over Fulham at Craven Cottage on Sunday. Regarding the team news, Amorim has named a 21-man squad for the trip to Bucharest. Luke Shaw has not been deemed fit enough to be included, and Marcus Rashford has been left out once again. Our United writers have had their say on how they would like to see Amorim set his team up. Altay Bayindir had a good game against Rangers last week and merited a start at Fulham. His turnaround since denying Martin Odegaard from the penalty spot has secured him more playing time, and he will likely be in goal next week against Leicester in the FA Cup. Lenny Yoro can come back in for some minor rotation in defence. Throwing Casemiro in is like throwing a dog a bone. United need some nous to secure a top 8 finish, and Casemiro is the most garlanded player in the squad. In a squad that struggles to score goals, United's 3 best forwards are needed every time they play. Rasmus Højlund, despite his fine European record, is not after his performance at Fulham. Sunday's win at Fulham should ease any fears United had of being dragged into a relegation battle, and the focus should be on this competition now. It is their only possible route into the Champions League for next season. That means a strong time here, and maybe some changes on Sunday instead. Yoro did the press conference last night, but so did Harry Maguire last week, and he didn't start. It makes sense to bring Yoro in for De Ligt as the only defensive change, however. I would return to Ahmad at wing-back, with Diogo Dalot on the left. Kobbie Mainoo can get a start alongside Manuel Ugarte in midfield, making space for Fernandes and Alejandro Garnacho to play the more advanced roles. The real issue is who plays at centre-forward out of Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. Højlund's confidence looks shot, but neither striker looks a goal threat. Zirkzee can get the nod to take Højlund out of the firing line. After being given a first Europa League opportunity of the season against Rangers last week, Bayindir deserves another shot in goal. United will have a short turnaround between tonight's game and Sunday's clash with Crystal Palace, meaning Andre Onana could benefit from another breather. De Ligt has not finished either of the last 2 matches, meaning it makes sense for Yoro to take his place. The Frenchman should start in the back 3 next to Maguire and Lisandro Martinez. Fernandes should be deployed higher up the pitch after starting in one of the number 8 positions at Fulham. The prospect of him being pushed into one of the 2 number 10 berths opens up a window of opportunity for Mainoo to return and start. Diogo Dalot has backed Ruben Amorim to bring the good times back to Manchester United. United have endured a frustrating campaign, first under Erik Ten Hag and now under the Dutchman's replacement Amorim. The 39-year-old has won just 8 of his 17 games in charge, leaving his side 12th in the Premier League. Amorim has led his side to 2 successive wins, but delivered a brutal assessment of the team following the dismal 3-1 defeat to Brighton on the 19th of January. But he also made it clear he was confident he will succeed. In the past 10 games in Premier League, we won 2, said Amorim. Imagine what this is for a fan of Manchester United. Imagine what this is for me. We are getting a new coach who is losing more than the last coach. I have full knowledge of that. We are the worst team maybe in the history of Manchester United. Everybody here is underperforming, and we have to accept that. It is unacceptable to lose so many games. The opponents are better than us in many details. You have to acknowledge we are in a very difficult situation, with all the bad records, as losing games at home, losing games in the Premier League. I know we can succeed, but I am not naive. We need to survive this moment. But I am not going to change, no matter what. Dallot has been a key player under Amorim, starting all but 2 games since he took charge. The fullback is expected to play a significant role once again as United travel to FCSB in the Europa League on Thursday. Ahead of that game, the Portugal international has come out swinging for his manager. He backed Amorim as the best man for United, echoing his manager's belief that success will come back to Old Trafford. Obviously, there's been a change in manager, and I hope this manager stays for 10 years and we can build a new Manchester United history with trophies and wins. That will arrive, I can guarantee you. If it's now or in the future, I can guarantee this club will win again, he said. I am 100% sure of it. It's too big not to. And I don't think there is a better place to be when you are winning and when you are actually competing. I don't think there is anywhere else you could desire to be. As soon as you arrive at this club, it's a shock in every aspect, for the positive and the negative. For you to find that balance of being able to cope with the pressure, with the highs and lows, it takes some time. It took me 4 years to start playing regularly and consistently with this team. I will not say it takes that time for everybody, but for me it was a tough period. I had to come. I played. There was a change in manager, a change in decisions, injuries. Manchester United are the bookmakers' favourites to complete a move for Victor Gyökeres this month. The Swedish striker has been heavily linked with a move to Old Trafford since Ruben Amorim took over as manager in November. He continues to prove why a move would be justified, having bagged 77 goals in just 83 appearances for Sporting Clube de Portugal since joining from Coventry City in 2023. Given United's struggles in the centre-forward position, Amorim would benefit from having the prolific goalscorer in his team. Although a move in January seems to be out of the question, after Amorim insisted he would not be signing his former players this winter, bookmakers Betfair have priced United as favourites at 4-1. Arsenal have been placed as second favourites to sign Gyökeres at 10-1, while Chelsea are 14-1. Alejandro Garnacho and Marcus Rashford are two players who are heavily linked with an exit this month. Following the 1-0 win over Fulham at the weekend, Amorim delivered a damning assessment of Rashford. It's always the same reason. The reason is the training. The way I see what a footballer should do in training, in life, every day. If things don't change, I will not change. You can see it today on the bench. We needed a little bit of pace to change the game to move some pieces, but I prefer it like that. I will put goalkeeper coach Jorge Vital on before I put a player that doesn't give the maximum. I will not change in that department. The England international has not played for the club since the 3-2 defeat to Nottingham Forest in December. Rashford is of interest to Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund and has been tipped to join 4 clubs. Chelsea are tipped as favourites to sign Garnacho at 4-9. United, meanwhile, also feature prominently in the betting to sign Matthias Cunha and Ben Chilwell, as well as Gyökeres. Luke Shaw participated in Manchester United's open training session at Carrington on Wednesday morning, ahead of Thursday night's Europa League clash with FCSB in Romania. The defender last played for United on December 1st after suffering a muscle injury in the build-up to the trip to Arsenal 3 days later. Head coach Ruben Amorim said 2 weeks ago that he expected Shaw to be back within 2 weeks. The England international has made just 3 substitute appearances for United this season, last starting when the Reds beat Luton Town 2-1 at Kenilworth Road on February 18th last year. Elsewhere, Marcus Rashford also featured in the session. The attacker has not featured in any of United's last 11 matches and has been omitted from the matchday squad 10 times during that period. Rashford could leave Old Trafford ahead of Monday night's transfer deadline. Meanwhile, there was no sign of Johnny Evans or Mason Mount, who are continuing to recover from injury. United took a giant stride towards securing their place in the last 16 of the Europa League with a dramatic 2-1 triumph over Rangers at Old Trafford last week, climbing up to 4th in the table, 2 points clear of 9th-placed Galatasaray. The top 8 automatically advanced to the round of 16 and FCSB are currently 8th on 14 points. A draw could be enough to see United through. Defenders: Dalot, Mazraoui, Euro, Maguire, Martinez, De Ligt, Lindelof, Kukonki, Shaw, Malacia. Midfielders: Casemiro, Ugarte, Mainu, Collier, Eriksen, Fernandes. Attackers: Ahmad, Garnacho, Rashford, Xerxes, Højlund. Rio Ferdinand says he would be embarrassed if he was in Marcus Rashford's position after Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim's latest swipe at the want-away striker. The England international, who hasn't played since December 12th, was left out of the squad again for United's 1-0 win at Fulham. Following Sunday night's match, Amorim indicated he would rather have his 63-year-old goalkeeping coach Jorge Vital in his matchday squad than the forward. Amorim justified his decision by emphasising the importance of daily effort in training and life, and said, "The reason why Rashford is not playing is the training, what I think a footballer should do in training, in life and every day. I will put in vital before I put in a player who doesn't give the maximum every day." And Ferdinand, on his Rio Ferdinand Presence podcast, has discussed the severity of Amorim's remarks, saying, "If I was that player that the manager said that about, my heart, my pride, my ego, embarrassment, for someone to question your application, to question whether you're going out there and giving 100% for your team, suggesting that you're going to slack off and you're taking shortcuts. We all have days off or moments when we're not performing well, lacking confidence, but effort isn't really one of the things I would want to be hearing a manager say is lacking in my makeup." Ferdinand added, "That's a damning comment, because I think he knows what the reaction is after that comment. He's not saying that without thinking, where does this go after? There's really no way back for Marcus after that, I don't think, with that type of comment. You're looking at it and going, Amorim, who took charge in November, has only been there a short bit of time, and he's actually straight away gone. He's pulled out the 9mm revolver and just gone bang. There's no way back from that. If he comes back, that means other players can now take their foot off the gas and still have a way back into the team." Rashford posted a message on his Instagram stories that simply read, "Congratulations on the win, lads." Ferdinand also mentioned that if he were in Rashford's shoes, he would hold a press conference to clear his name. "If it isn't true and it was me he said that about, I am coming out all guns blazing. I'm holding a press conference. I'm coming out and saying, I'm having no one chat about me like that in the media. But you only come out if you're 100% sure that nobody can say you take the shortcuts." Sometimes I think in these situations, if you're doing things right, communicate it. Because the manager can question how well or bad I'm playing, or my form. But if he's questioning my effort, I'm sorry, I'm coming back out. Next time I'm around any press people, the effort, he needs to take that back, or I'm suing him. I would love to sit across the table from Marcus, look in his eyes and go, "Can you say that? Could you be confident enough to go out and do that? Because if you can't, look at yourself.